8 Penn State fraternity members are due in court today in connection with the death of a student pledge. 19-year-old Timothy Piazza died in February after a fall. A grand jury report says the fall came during a fraternity hazing ritual involving heavy drinking. He hurt his head and ruptured his spleen. Prosecutors say that the fraternity members waited about 12 hours before they called for an ambulance. The members are also accused of then trying to cover up the incident. Jericka Duncan is outside the fraternity house in State College, Pennsylvania. Jericka, good morning.
Good morning. Those 18 members of the Beta Theta Pi are facing charges ranging from hazing to aggravated assault. Now, the national organization, the National Fraternity, said it has disbanded the group and said it does not tolerate alcohol abuse or hazing. It's a sentiment that is shared by the university president.
How could a group of people who have committed themselves to each other let something like that happen?
Penn State University President Eric Barron describes the grand jury report on the incident surrounding the death of Timothy Piazza as sickening. According to the report, Piazza arrived at the frat house on February 2nd. There, he and 13 other pledges took part in the Gauntlet, a sort of alcohol obstacle course where the pledges consumed approximately 4 to 5 alcoholic beverages, varying from beer, wine, and liquor, all within a 2-minute time span. An hour later, the report says Piazza fell down a flight of stairs. Surveillance video inside the frat house apparently shows him carried up by 4 Beta brothers. His body appears limp, his eyes closed, and his demeanor unconscious. Piazza falls several more times throughout the night, hitting his head in some instances. While on the floor, frat brothers step over his body. By 10 a.m. the next morning, 2 frat brothers found Piazza on the basement floor. They say he was cold to the touch and his skin appeared pale. But no one called 911 until 42 minutes later.
We have a friend who is unconscious. He hasn't moved. He's cold extremity. It's probably need an ambulance.
Okay, how old is he?
He is 19. Yeah, 19 years old.
The next day, Tim Piazza was dead. His father called this a preventable and senseless tragedy.
Again, this did not have to happen. No parent should have to deal with this.
A grand jury determined Piazza died as a direct result of extremely reckless conduct of members of the Beta fraternity. The report also says the investigation shows an active attempt to conceal and/or destroy evidence by some frat members. Tom Klein represents the Piazza family.
The lack of humanity, the lack of caring, the lack of dignity of the young men who did so much harm here is unthinkable.
And it doesn't end with just the criminal case. Since the release of that grand jury report, the university has now launched its own investigation. And the university president tells me it could very well lead to expulsions. Charlie?
Jericka, thanks.